WGY Mornings with Doug Goudie continues on News Radio 810 at 103.1 WGY, the Capital Region's breaking news, traffic, and weather station.
Thank you, George. Good Wednesday morning, everybody. I hope your morning's off to a good start. And if you look out your window, it's not raining, so that is a start. As some of you know, and some of you have probably already done, there is voting that is taking place as we speak. Election Day is officially next Tuesday, and there's a number of things being decided, not the least of which is who's going to be the mayor of Albany a week from today. One of the people that would like to have that title is Alicia Purdy, and she joins us live right now on the WGY Newsline. Morning, Alicia.
Good morning, Doug. Good morning, Albany.
So we have not met in person before. I've been following you throughout the summer as you've been posting some really fun, interesting, and I dare say wacky videos on your website, and I love every one of them. So if nothing else, that's one thing you've done differently than everybody else that's running for office these days.
Well, it's certainly been a new approach to a campaign for sure, is to show some personality instead of just politics. I've really worked hard to let people know my character, my nature, who I am as a person, because I think that matters as much as a policy does.
I do love that, and I love new, and I love fresh. That said, one of the issues facing Albany and whoever's going to be the mayor is old problems, crime, violence, guns. That's the first and foremost thing that anybody that talks about Albany brings up. How would Alicia Purdy deal with any of those situations were you to become mayor?
Everything I tackle starts with one question: how does this affect people? So yes, any mayor in Albany is going to inherit not just the past 2 terms of crime and failure, but really it's just a system that's been struggling for a long time, and that predates any exclusive sitting mayor right now. But the way that we approach it, first of all, is people-focused, and that means we do have to address the way that our policing communities interact. It really is problematic, and what's happened is the fracture between people and police has led to an over-policing of the police and an under-addressing of public safety. The approaches we have right now, we've got a local law J in the ballot, Prop 7. We've got things that are attempting to address policing without really addressing the fact that there really is a lawlessness in the city of Albany. And so I do believe a stronger, more comprehensive, a better educated police force is a strong component of that program to address safety and policing. And that does include technology, budgeting items, all these boring things people don't want to talk about. They actually do present part of the solution. And I fully believe we can effectively address safety and policing in communities. We can solve both of these problems, but we really do have to get a grip on the fact that the lawlessness and permissiveness in Albany is out of control, and we've got to uphold the laws and ordinances that we have to preserve our public safety and ensure that residents are safe and not victimized anymore. We had just yesterday a foot chase, an armed gunman with a foot chase. We had cars crashing into buildings on Colvin Avenue. And this is just the drama from yesterday. We've been watching all summer. Shootings with injuries are twice the yearly average, and part of that has to do with the way that leadership has approached our safety and addressing challenges in the community. And it sounds oversimplified, but it is the foundational bedrock of how we build a different Albany, a transformed Albany. That's the word I use. I never use change. I always use transform, because that's an entirely new thing rather than just swapping out one thing for another.
Alicia Purdy, I always look, let's take Albany for example, but when we're here and we're affected and we live here each and every day, we have a view of Albany, but it's what outsiders think that also comes into play, because that's the image that we're putting forward. I have heard so much from people about the story a couple of weeks ago that don't know Albany otherwise, the lounge shooting, and everybody's like, what's going on? It's the Wild West in Albany. You got biker gangs in the streets shooting people. And I'm like, that's the stuff that people get and think, oh, that's Albany. That's not the image we want of Albany. That's not the Albany that most of us know. And yet that's what we're seeing, because somehow, some way, there are biker gangs with lounges here that either have been licensed or haven't been licensed, are up to code, aren't up to code. We still don't have full answers on that. And I think that that's a microcosm of something that we need to get a better handle on here going forward.
The fact that there isn't transparency is a major issue that I have taken umbrage with from day one. The lack of transparency accountability and checks and balances in Albany government, it is a monolith, truly. And I say that with a note of caution. This is not how government is supposed to function, and we are stuck in a rut here in Albany. So we've got to do something transformative, certainly voting in a new administration. But in terms of the lounge, you know, the mayor did come out and say, if you track the news, which I do, since I'm a journalist, I did track and I paid attention to what people were saying. And what they were saying was they did know about the lounge for over a year. Why did they shut down Cafe Hollywood? They didn't shut down the lounge. You're right. People have a perspective of the city of Albany. I said this in my campaign speech, my first ever. I said, Shantytown Shooting Gallery. This is what we have become. And I'm ashamed of that. I see Albany the way that, and my family's from Albany for generations. We see Albany as this little tiny, maybe through rose-colored glasses, a little sparkling Manhattan full of restaurants and art and history and culture. That's the Albany I carry in my heart, and many people carry in their hearts. But that is not the reputation we have in the wider world. We've got a shabby, junky reputation when really the seat of power that, in my opinion, controls the world is here in Albany, New York. New York City, the legislative laws are made here in Albany that govern fashion, trade, commerce, unions. That's all here in Albany. We definitely need to do better. We've got to get a grip on crime and violence. And some of that, again, is upholding laws and ordinances, but also it's being able to anticipate and predict crime. We have to ask hard questions. Why did our government know about the lounge for over a year? And nothing was done until an election year when we're at 85, 86 shooting deaths and 16 homicides, shooting incidents. And so these are tough questions, but they have to be asked. I spent all summer, as you've tracked my campaign, really trying to wake people up to the true power in Albany. And I believe that power belongs in the hands of the people. And we've got to do better with these tough questions.
So, Alicia Purdy, it's funny you mention that because as an outsider who's new to the capital region and I'm new to Albany, one of my observations is there's a certain numbness or disinterestedness with a large portion of the Albany community that are just like, it's Albany, it goes as it goes. And like the first time there was a shooting this year, people said, oh, it's the season, here we go. And I'm like, what kind of, I can't understand that. But there seems to be that thing. And I understand totally what you're talking about, transforming or changing, because we got to wake people up out of that.
It's true. People don't realize, and this isn't just Albany, but people in the wider world, in the United States of America, don't really understand the power they hold in a vote. And what happens is when they lose and that things don't go their way, they kind of throw their hands up and walk away. And yes, people have been very asleep in Albany because it's been 100 years since we've even had a shift in political party leadership here in the city of Albany, and people have given up. And I constantly say to them, you have to take a look deeper than that and not say, oh, we give up, nothing will ever change, or it's shooting season here in Albany. That is my city. I live here. My family is here from generations. I love the city of Albany, and I don't see it that way. However, the apathy is not because of just apathy and the world is overwhelmed with bad news. It really has to do with the fact that people have tried. I see it every day. People do try. They try to make a difference, and it never goes anywhere. And after 100 years, it's time to shake people awake. And I have worked really hard to say, you have the power to change your lived experience here in the city of Albany. A lot of people don't understand the connection. I've had people say to me, wait, do we have a mayor? And that's been its own battle to say, people are just trying to survive. People are looking at all the problems, but they're not drawing the right conclusions on how to solve them. I really do believe firmly that as the head goes, so goes the body. And waking people up has been probably the greatest challenge that I have had as a candidate in the city of Albany, because not only have they been lulled to sleep, but I would say numb is the perfect word. They've become punch drunk. They're so exhausted from the abuse that they don't even know they're suffering, that they simply can't get up. I think of Rocky and the Russian. Rocky's against ropes. He's down. You just physically can't lift your head. You can't get your shoulders off the ground. The countdown is coming. You're about to lose. And someone is coming to lift you up off the ground. Do you want to be lifted up off the ground?
There's a lot of boxing analogies in there. And I like
hey, I'm a trained boxer. I don't know if you know that. I'm actually a trained boxer. That's what I do on the side.
When you said take out the head and the body will follow, I knew right then. You've taken classes, you train, you do that sort of stuff.
I do. I'm a trained fighter.
Here's my last one, Alicia Purdy, for you, and I mean this in all seriousness. If you are elected mayor, Can you give me your solemn vow that you will take down the Central Warehouse building one way or the other? That thing needs to go, and it needs to go now.
Well, when you say one way or the other, you kind of give me the wiggle room that I need, because that is certainly a complex situation about the Central Warehouse. People also, it's another issue people really do misunderstand, but I will say this. There is a deeper agenda there that is not serving the people. I have heard plenty. I've been privy to lots of conversations. It can be dealt with. Make no mistake. That I will tell you. And yes, with the new leadership, it will be dealt with, one way or the other, like you said.
If people want to find out more about you as they consider voting for you, and take 30 seconds, give your final pitch for people to vote for you, Alicia Purdy for Mayor of Albany.
Okay, all right, Albany. Where do we go from here? We all see that there are problems. Who is the leader that can take us into the new season in Albany that we need and that we deserve? Come find me at transformalbany.com. We're already in early voting. You want to skip the line? Go to the Board of Elections. I'm going to be there today. Today's my birthday. I'm celebrating my birthday by voting for Alicia Purdy for mayor in the Transformed Albany. Transformalbany.com.
Happy birthday, Alicia Purdy. Thanks for sharing a little bit with us here at WGY.
Have a great day.
That's Alicia Purdy. Good luck on Tuesday. And I applaud anyone that decides to do this and take something like that on. I give them credit. I don't know why you would ever do it. It can be a nightmare. She has done it. She's going to live to tell the tale. Republicans winning office in New York and in Albany in particular, very tough road to hoe. But she's at least tried it, so I give her credit for that. That's Alicia Purdy joining us live right here on WGY Mornings.